Now, as a candidate, in most interviews, you're gonna get the opportunity to ask questions. Typically, at the end of an interview, you'll go through, you'll answer a bunch of questions. At the end, they'll say, all right, Ben, do you have any questions for me? And this is a huge opportunity to do a few things. For them, it is really important that you have questions that A, show you prepared, right? You cared enough to prepare to come with great, meaningful questions. 2, it shows enthusiasm for the role. Clearly, this is a serious consideration for this person because they're asking me questions to help them determine the way forward. Lastly, it helps you get more information about the company and the role that maybe you didn't have access to. In today's video, I'm going to give you 3 incredibly powerful questions you can ask during your first interview. So an interview with HR or the recruiter that's gonna help you succeed in your final interview with a hiring manager. If you stay to the end, you're gonna get some really powerful tools to help you succeed over your competition. Let's go. Now, the first question I want you to ask are, what skill gaps are you trying to fill in this team by hiring this person? Think about that. When you think about the entirety of a team, everybody has strengths and weaknesses, but often you'll see that a team is missing out on a core competency that allows them to be successful as a unit. If you can identify what that is, and you happen to have that skill, then when you move into final interviews with the hiring manager, you can talk about it, right? Maybe it's a programming language. Maybe it's an experience in a certain industry. Whatever it is, when there is hiring, they are often trying to solve a problem. And if that problem is there is a skill or a competency that is missing on the team and you happen to have that skill, it is going to make you incredibly powerful as a final round interviewer. Because when you're talking to that hiring manager, you can play up the fact that you're quite skilled or proficient in that area that they are missing as a team. Now, this next question is a really powerful one for a few reasons. And that question is, what are the objectives this person needs to accomplish in year 1 for this to be considered a successful hire? Really important. 1, you want to know if that's reasonable. If it's unreasonable, you probably shouldn't take that job. But here's the other thing. If you can find out the 2 or 3 things that they're hoping this person accomplishes in the first 12 months, then you can prepare stories around those things if you have done them in the past, right? So let's just say, for example, they say there's a certain implementation that they're hoping to achieve in the next calendar year that this person is going to be really, really involved in. Now, if you've already done that in a prior role, and this is what they're telling you, when you go to that final interview and you're talking to the hiring manager, you're gonna be able to share with them exactly what it was you did in detail because you're gonna be prepared to talk about that story. And you're going to allow them to imagine you taking this role and helping them with a massive undertaking that they need to accomplish in the next 12 months. They're going to imagine you as the ideal candidate, somebody who comes with the skills, obviously to make it this far, is a good team fit, but also specifically has competency in one of their biggest projects for the year. If you can find out what objectives need to be accomplished and you have a background and you have really good stories about how you've already done that, you are going to make yourself stand out in the pack no matter who the competition is when you're interviewing. Now, the last thing you want to ask in that first round interview that's going to make you a powerful final round interviewer is you want to ask them, what are the behaviors that have made previously successful people in this role great at what they do? Something along those lines, right? Just ask them, what are the behaviors of the people who have been effective in this role previously? What are the skills or the competencies that have allowed people to succeed in this role? Make it your own, whatever you want, but you get what I'm getting at, right? What are the things that have made this work in the past for this person? They're gonna tell you what those things are. Maybe they're attention to detail. Maybe they're a high drive. Maybe it's they're a really effective communicator. Then you go into that final interview and you're talking to the hiring manager and they say, Ben, what are your greatest strengths? Oh, and your greatest strength just so happens to be that thing that have really made people succeed in the past. Now, you don't wanna lie. You can't just say it's your skill and it's not your skill, but ideally, they're gonna share with you some of the behaviors and you're going to be able to cherry pick ones that happen to apply to you, and then you're gonna share them in the final interview. You're gonna let them know these things that have worked for you in the past, I have these things. I am like previously successful employees. If you're able to do these 3 things, you are going to make yourself an incredibly strong candidate. But here's another thing I want you to do. I want you to watch this video right now. What this video is going to do, it's going to show you how to write the perfect thank you letter. Thank you letters are a great way for you to differentiate yourself. I have seen where the difference between someone getting a role and not getting a role when the race was really tight between 2 candidates is this candidate, well, they wrote a great thank you letter. That can be you.